Hello guys, today I'm interviewing Chris Lidell. He's had 3 professional fights, 2 wins, one defeat. And yeah, how are you, Chris? I know you were meant to fight yesterday, but due to...
I'm good, thanks. I was hoping to be celebrating a victory last night today, but unfortunately all the fights in Britain were postponed due to the Queen's death, which was obviously sad, but I'm gutted that the boxing get put off. So
yeah,
it's a matter of keep training away and wait for another date now.
Yeah, because it was a 50-50 fight as well, like you were in, like a debut.
Oh yeah, it was initially supposed to be Scott McCormack, but he actually pulled out with a cold the day before the weigh-in. So the opponent had changed to Jordan Spence, who was making his debut. But yeah, it would have still been a good fight. But I think once I get a date sorted to rearrange the fight, it will be back to Scott McCormack.
So what was Scott's record?
I think Scott's record's about 14 or 15 fights, and he's won about 7 or 8 of them. But all the guys that's beat him are good boxers. So the likes of your Ian Butcher, your Scott Allen, Joe Ham. There's a good few guys he's came up, that's defeated them that are good boxers, and he's also fought for 2 Scottish titles.
Are you
as well.
super bantam, mate, or fly?
He is. He's super bantam. So I'm our bantam myself, but the weight was agreed to be kind of in between bantam and super bantam for that most recent bout there. So it is a tiny bit heavier, but it is what it is.
Maybe you can rearrange your date with Scott or Jordan.
Yeah, so I'll probably find out today for sure. But we're looking at Saturday, the 15th of October, which is about 5 weeks away. So hopefully that can get arranged, and then we can go from there.
Oh, so you is that going to be against Scott or Jordan? Yeah.
It will be against Scott McCormack again.
That should be a good little fight. What, 6 rounds or 4?
6 rounds. 6 or possibly, I would be happy to do even 8 rounds. But I'll leave it with the promoter and see what he can do.
Yeah. Were you meant to be the main event yesterday?
I don't think I was, no. So there was a few other guys on the bout. I think there was Dean Sutherland, for example, who I'm sure's got a few titles. So I'm not sure if it was maybe going to be him that was top of the bill or not. And then there was 2 Scottish guys that were both unbeaten.
What,
I think they might even be top. I'm not too sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah. So you're expecting to get like a date like soon?
Yeah, so because I was planning on fighting last night, I've actually booked a holiday away for a week from Monday to Spain, and I didn't want to cancel the holiday and lose my money, so I've decided that I'm still going to go, and hence why the date for about 5 weeks away. The promoter did say to me if he could get a fight for us next week, but because it's not a title fight or anything like that, I'm going to just go away and go my holiday for a week. I'll still be keeping active in training when I'm away. But yeah, so it just gives me 4 weeks once I come back from holiday to get straight back into it.
Yeah. When you fought, was it your comeback fight against Luke Merrifield?
Yeah, that's right. So I used to box about 8 years ago, and just busy. I was starting on my business at the time, and it was just really busy, and it was hard to put a lot of time and effort into training and working at the same time, trying to build a business. So that's why I fell away from it then. And I'm just in a better place just now with my company and financially, and I'm a wee bit older and maturer. So this is the reason why I decided to get back into it. And I'm 30 this month, so I've decided I'm going to have a proper go at it and give 110% and do the best I can do. and that's what I'm trying to do now.
Would you say your comeback fight was the hardest fight you've had so far?
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah, and no in a way, because I had done a lot more training. I was a lot more prepared for this fight, so it kind of let me. I don't want to say the fight was easier, but it let me enjoy the fight a lot more because I knew I had put in a lot more work and training in the build up to the fight.
Were
But
you
yeah, I
hurt
think it
at
was.
all?
Say that again.
Did he hurt you at all? Did he like?
No, I think there was a wee head clash. I think it was in the third or fourth round, and I got a wee cut under my eye. But apart from that, I was feeling good. I was feeling strong, and I think it was a pretty dominant display from myself.
Yeah, you were great, mate, and that's why your manager wanted you to get in a 50-50, because that's the type of fights I'm sure that you would want to go for, like Scottish titles and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I'm here to. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to take tough fights. Obviously, that was my first fight back, so it was just important to get out and get that first one over the line. But moving forward, I'm looking for challenges, and I'm not going to duck and dive anybody. Whoever that I'm offered as an opponent, no matter how good they are, I'm certainly going to take that fight.
Yes. So what got you into boxing? Why did you want to be a boxer?
That's a good question. I think when I was younger and you're at school, I was always pretty small. I think folk maybe called you small fry and made names at you and stuff. And I think just to try and go into the boxing, just to get a wee bit of confidence and maybe try and toughen me up a little bit. I had an older brother that done the boxing for a while as well, and he was at boxing. So I was probably in the gym from quite a young age. And then as I went through my teenagers, I fell away from it a bit and kind of back and forth. And now I think I realise that this is what I really want to do, and I really enjoy it now. So yeah, that's it really.
Did you have an amateur background at all?
So I think I had that, just a rough guess. I maybe had about 30, 35 fights. Probably won 25, 30. So I did get beat a few times. Unfortunately, I never did win a Scottish or a Western or anything like that. So that's kind of why I'm really pushing to try and win a Scottish title, Celtic title, any title really. But I'm here until I win a title. I had said in my last interview, it's not a matter of if, it's when, and I stick by that. I'm not going to give up. I'm here to win a title this time around.
So against Scott McCormack, are you going to fight for I don't know, like a Scottish title?
So nothing's set in stone, and I don't really want to look past Scott because I know he's going to be a tough opponent, but I'm hopeful that if I can get the job done against him, I'm hoping the next one will be for a title.
So is this like a title eliminator?
Potentially, yeah. It's not been called that, but at the end of the day, if I want to establish myself as the best boxer in Scotland, I've got to beat all the Scottish guys. So yeah, I suppose it is a bit of a wee eliminator. Would
you fight like Scott Allen?
If the fight came up, I'm actually quite friendly with Scott Allen. I was using his gym quite recently. I had went down and seen his fight against Marcel Braithwaite.
Oh yeah, in Liverpool.
Which I thought he won that fight.
Yeah.
Scott's obviously fought for, he's been about for a while. He's fought for British titles. He's the Celtic champion at the moment. He has went down the weight, so he's 1 weight under me at super flyweight. But yeah, I mean, listen, if that fight ever came up in the future, and it was maybe for something or we had to fight, then I'm sure Scott would probably be up for that as well, and likewise myself if it did ever arise.
But you're not looking past Scott McCormack if you fight Scott McCormack.
That's it. And I think you would need to be stupid to look past your next opponent, no matter who it is. But yeah, right now it's Scott McCormack's name that's on the wall, and he's in front of me, and that's who we're focusing on for now.
How much tickets did you sell? Like, are you a big ticket seller?
Yeah, I would consider myself to be quite good with the tickets. So the venue that we were fighting in, the Crown Plaza, it's a 3-course meal. So it's usually tables around about 10. So I managed to get away 5 tables. Some of them were 11 and 12 at a table. So there's roughly about 55, 60 folk that were coming to support me.
That's good.
And that was kind of the same as my first fight against Luke Merrifield. And they were roaring, and it was a great atmosphere, and it gave me goosebumps, and it was a really, really good. I really enjoyed it, especially having folk there to support you as well. It really is appreciated.
What went wrong with the fight that you lost?
So, but back then, I personally thought I'd probably done enough to win that fight. But as you probably know yourself, when you go on the road, sometimes you need to do a wee bit more. And I was younger back then as well, so maybe I didn't tick all the boxes in training really, but it was a hard fight when I lost that fight. But I'm not going to say I won it because I never get the decision, but at the end of the day, you know, that's boxing sometimes. But it was a tough fight at the time, and I think it was Hamza something.
Yeah.
He actually went on, and I don't even think he's ever been beaten, but I don't think he boxes anymore. So I suppose that's the only positive I can take from it, that the guy that beat me has never been beaten, essentially.
Yeah. Even though that you thought you did enough, but it is what it is, and you move forward.
That's it. And that was 8 years ago. I kind of see this as a new chapter, and this is me kind of starting off afresh. So in my head, I kind of feel as if I'm almost unbeaten this time around so far.
Yeah.
And I'm really just hoping to keep it that way for as long as I can.
Yes. And do you ever get nervous before you fight?
So I'm trying to think. It's hard to remember back to when I first started 8 years ago. But my most recent one against Luke, I think everybody does get a little bit nervous, but I think it was more excitement with myself, to be honest with you. I was just buzzing to get in there. I obviously had a good crowd in there for us as well, and I knew I had put in the training, so it was really, I wasn't that nervous because I've already done all the hard work, so it was really just about getting out there and enjoying it. But yeah, I think naturally everybody gets a little bit nervous before they go out. I think that's just normal, but I would say I was mostly excited and ready to get in there and do the job.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, do you watch boxing at all? If you're not fighting, would you watch it if it's on the TV? So
yeah, I think more so recently, I've started watching a wee bit more boxing now that I'm boxing myself. So I was supposed to be fighting last night, and I was actually coming down to London today to watch the Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields fight.
Oh yeah, but it got postponed.
So it's a bit of a bummer to my weekend. I had everything planned. I had the weigh-in done, was ready to go for my fight, down to London for that fight, and then away to holiday on Monday. And it's kind of,
that would have been a good weekend. You would have got the win, and then that would have been a good fight, and then you got a holiday.
Exactly. So it is a bit gutting, but unfortunately that's just life sometimes, and there's no point letting it drag you down because it was out with my control. So it's as I say, we'll go away next week. We'll still keep active, and we'll reset and go again for coming back.
Who if they reschedule the fight, who do you think would win out of them two?
Well, I think it's actually, I don't know if it's set in stone, but believe it or not, they've actually rescheduled it for, I think it's the 15th of October, which is also the same date that I'm going to be fighting, so I'm going to miss it this time. I'm not too sure. I think Savannah Marshall will win, but I think it would be a close fight.
Yeah, fair enough, mate. I was really looking forward to that fight.
I think it's good, just with all the talk and the build-up and the hype.
Yeah.
I think I had watched Savannah's last fight, or it was Claressa Shields, and she was saying about she'll wipe her drawers or wipe the floor with her or something. And it was just, it was a good little bit of
beef, like
rivalry, and it kind of builds it up more for the fight as well.
Yeah. Did you see their face-off as well? No, not the face-off, like the gloves are off.
I haven't watched it yet, because to be honest with you, I've obviously been that busy myself, just getting prepared. So I haven't actually managed to watch it yet, but that is something I probably will watch. I take it, have you watched it yourself?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It was good, yeah.
I'll maybe even, I've got a wee bit of time tonight, so I might even flick through that and give that a watch later.
Yeah, you should do it. It was good. Do you like Josh Taylor at all?
So yeah, I wouldn't say I know Josh personally, but I know of him. So yeah, I do. I have watched Josh box and stuff. I actually missed the fight against Jack Cattrall live. So when I heard all the news and stuff saying that obviously he was robbed and this and that, I watched it back when I got home. But I watched it back. I can't remember where I watched it back, but I think it was ESPN, so it was American commentary. And when I watched the fight back, I genuinely thought Josh Taylor had just edged it by like a round.
Really?
In my opinion, yeah. And I think it wasn't until after I watched it that I watched it back on, I think it was Sky. And it's the commentators that make it, that kind of trick your head when they're going on, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. Because I watched it in ESPN, they were actually thinking Josh Taylor was winning the fight as well. Whereas when you listen to Sky, the commentators were saying, oh, it's Cattrall's won it. But when I watched it back, I genuinely thought Josh Taylor had just done enough to win it by about a round, in my opinion. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't say I'm a big Josh Taylor fan. So I wouldn't say I'm being biased just because I'm Scottish, because I wasn't overly fussed about who won the fight. It would obviously great for Scotland if Josh won it, but I wouldn't say I'm a massive Josh Taylor fan. So I was kind of just watching it for a bit of a neutral point of view.
Yeah.
And I do think there was some rounds in there that was really hard to score, and sometimes that's just boxing.
Cattrall did drop him though.
No, you're right. It did, and even with that, when I was scoring it, I just felt he'd done enough to edge it. But that's just it is what it is. And
you're one of the first people that I've asked.
A little bit sorry for him, because he's obviously been getting a lot of stick and a lot of abuse and stuff in social media. And I think that's a fight that has to happen just to kind of settle it once and for all.
Yeah. I mean, I had Cattrall wide, as like many people did. Personally, I thought it was a robbery. I wanted Taylor to win that fight because I've watched Taylor's fights for like years. And yeah, but after that, I really thought Cattrall did enough. Like, I thought it was a robbery.
That's fair enough. Well, hopefully they fight again. I would have liked them to fight sooner with more of the belts up for grabs, but I'm pretty sure Josh Taylor's actually only got one belt left.
No, wait, has he changed them?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's 2 or 3 of them that's actually been vacated. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it.
So he only has one title?
I'm pretty sure it's either 1 or 2.
I think it's the WBA and something else.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I do know.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, I think what it is say for example, it's IBF, they've decided that it's a mandatory challenger for that belt. So they've said, right, you need to fight such and such. And rather than fight that person, he's decided to vacate the belt and hopefully fight Jack Cattrall.
Oh, so fair play to him, because, yeah.
But I think it would have been better if it would got arranged quicker, and then there would have been more belts up for grab. But at the moment, I'm pretty sure it's just one. I could be wrong. It might be two.
It's either two or one, mate. I saw something that he vacated at least 3 or yeah. Yeah. But we'll see what happens with that.
That's it.
What other boxers do you like watching?
I obviously watched the Anthony Joshua fight and
Who's
watched the Tyson Fury fight as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the heavyweights, if I'm honest. I don't think. I mean, no disrespect to Fury or Joshua, but I just feel the heavyweights now compared to what they were back then with your Mike Tyson and stuff, I just feel it's not the same level. Plus, I just think some of these boxers down the weights there's more action in them. There's more fighting rather than quite slow and you're just waiting for the big one-punch knockout. When I was a wee bit younger, actually, I liked to watch Carol Frampton, who's obviously retired now. I actually went to watch a fight live over in Ireland, over in Belfast. I can't even remember who was fighting, but yeah, Frampton was kind of who I liked to watch or who I looked up to.
Yeah, I like Frampton. He was a good fighter.
But even now, the likes of I watched the Lee Wood. I've been kind of watching Lee Wood.
Yeah, he's a great fighter. He's doing well.
Yeah, and obviously Josh Warrington's another big one as well.
Are you going to watch Lee Wood's fight on the 24th?
Yeah, so is it Lara he's fighting?
Lara, yeah, the guy who beat Josh Warrington.
I think that'll be a very tough one because I think Josh Warrington's fought Lara twice and I think he got defeated and then there was a cut that ended up in a draw.
Yeah.
So, but listen, Lee Wood, I think, has been the underdog in most of these fights and he's came out and talked, so you can't write the guy off.
Yeah, did you watch his fight against... You should watch his fight against that Conlon.
Yeah.
That was a great fight.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I think he was losing that fight, to be honest.
He was.
And then obviously, but that's boxing. It just shows you that's why you should never give up as well. Even if you're in there, right down to the last punch, you could end it like that. So
yeah, you've just got even if you're down by 5 rounds, you've just got to keep going because you're still in the fight until the final bell.
No, that's it, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And my last question for you, Chris, is do you have any advice for like someone who wants to be like a pro boxer when they're older?
I would probably say don't put all your eggs in one basket. And what I mean by that is if you're coming up through school and you think, I just want to train to become a pro boxer, there's not enough money to be made in it to be like a full-time job. So I would always try and say, stick in at school, try and maybe get an apprenticeship, or don't just focus solely on boxing. And yeah, if it makes you happy and you enjoy doing it, do it. But you need to make sure that you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it for your own enjoyment. Don't do stuff for anybody else. But yeah, I would definitely say make sure you've got a good job and still try and maintain a good job and stuff. Don't just think boxing you're going to become a world champion and you jump about with millions of pounds, because unfortunately that's not the real life of boxing. It's much more difficult and harder than that. Yeah.
And do you want to shout out anyone who's like helped you in your career so far?
Yeah, I would obviously I've had loads of folk down sparring and stuff, which is really appreciated, but for me, it would need to be Davy Sutherland. So that's who trains me. And Davy puts a lot of time and effort in, and we got on really well. And without him, I probably wouldn't be in as good and as happy a place as I'm at just now. So big shout out to Davy Sutherland. And then even the likes of your Scott Allen and his brother Sam, they had let me use their gym for quite a while there, which is really appreciated. And I'm actually training at another gym, a guy called Francis at Fighting Scots. So I've jumped over gyms. It was just more convenient to move gyms, but without these guys giving me use of their gym and Davy's time, then I wouldn't be boxing. So it's really appreciated for those guys.
Yeah, and also I really appreciate you doing this interview and keep the good work up.
No worries. Thanks very much, and it's really nice to get a wee interview. I know you had asked me previously after my last fight, but I had a lot of stuff going on, and I mentally wasn't in a really great place. So I'm a lot better now, and things are going really well. But I just felt at the time I wasn't ready for this interview. I just had a lot going on. So, but no, I've been following you on YouTube, and I watched some of your interviews, and you're doing a great job, and it's good. So well done.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
No bother.
Bye, mate.